Good afternoon, everyone. It's David Schlotthauer here with another detailed tropical weather outlook and discussion for Friday, July 26th, 2024. Now, I do apologize if this video is going to be released much later than my previous videos on the channel, and that's because, again, I've been monitoring the park fire at an aggressive manner, posting stuff on Twitter, so I do apologize if this video is getting out a little later. But on the side note of fires, here's a look at the latest GOES 16 True Color Visible Satellite Imagery provided by Dr. Levi Cowan at tropicaltidbits.com. And of course, the Atlantic is looking nice and quiet right now, but what is brewing out there is this area of converging winds and convection, which indicates we do have a couple of areas of spin, one that we're watching over here. We have another one that's moving off of Africa right here. That these both are going to be moving in this general direction, and then one of these areas will likely consolidate somewhere over here in the northern Windward Islands, including the Greater Antilles eventually by early to middle of next week. And this is when we could have the potential for tropical development. So looking at this on the 7-day graphical tropical weather outlook from the National Hurricane Center, and yes, they indeed have a 20% chance of tropical formation on this in the next 7 days. X marks the spot of what they're watching, but again, there's another tropical wave moving off of Africa. These two will be moving into each other, and they will be colliding, and we will see what all happens once this wave gets into the northern Caribbean, into the southwestern Atlantic. The East Pacific is also calming down with activity, but we also have another area to watch here. This has a 20 to 30% chance of tropical development in the next 7 days. We have the remnants of Bud, that was once a tropical storm, now no longer a tropical storm or a tropical depression, and this is continually moving off towards the southwest at about 5 to 10 miles an hour. So now looking at the latest ECMWF, this is the European Deterministic Forecast, a 3-plot map showing us the vorticity in the color shading. So this is all vorticity. The thicknesses here indicate where we have an area of high pressure. And of course, these wind barbs show us which way the wind is coming from. So we have winds that are doing this right now in the deep tropics. And where this congeals will be very important. And models don't always do a good job at initializing this sometimes, and then their outcome is all over the place. So until we get something that congeals, the models may be back and forth on either we'll get a tropical depression or a storm, or we won't see anything at all. But we do have some model support today, not just from the Euro, but also now from the GFS model. If we take a look at the Euro now going forward in time, this is in the next, let's go back. This is the next 36 hours. And what we have here, deep layer ridge to the north. We have an area of interest. Remember, the NHC is watching this area down here. But again, there's this other area that is coming off of Africa that we are also going to have to watch. And these two areas of tangled up convergence and spin will make things a little complicated. On the European model here in the next 5 days, we can see that really nothing develops now. So the Euro going either, there's going to be something that develops, or there won't be anything that develops. So there's a lot of willy-washa on the modeling from run to run. So there's a lot of inconsistencies, and then there's a broader tropical wave still sitting out there in the western or in the off the coast of Africa. Now, once we go into day 10, this is by Sunday, August the 4th. Now, I want to make it clear now, while the Euro does not indicate any tropical development here in the Gulf of Mexico, this is a somewhat of a subtle wave that does develop. You can see the little wind direction change and some of the isobars that kind of bend back towards the west. So there's a notable tropical wave here that moves through, but no tropical development on this particular run. Now, when we take a look at the GFS model, it is very different and actually went a little crazy in today's model run on the 18Z run, showing that there could be tropical development expected here. In fact, if we go and look at the run now, we have different areas of spin that the GFS indicates here for Saturday, August, or July the 27th. I'm ahead of myself here. Going forward, it thinks that this area might actually spin up a little bit more sufficiently. Unlike the Euro, doesn't have a whole lot here at this given time. Another tropical wave coming off of Africa that looks a little more stronger. While we have this ridge of high pressure, a beast little ridge that is. Going forward now, let's go out to day 7. Again, tropical wave doesn't develop very well here on the GFS, but it is notably there. If we look at the previous run, it was barely there, but now there's a little bit more of a signal. We have the ridge over here that is in place, so this is likely to move in this general direction, and I will show you that here on a closer zoomed in view on this system. And so when we go forward in time, the system actually tries to consolidate here by August the 3rd, 2024. This would be a Saturday, so a week from this Saturday, that is. And then going forward, going out to day 10, yeah, we have a very strong system that does try to develop here. That's a 984, and then it gets down to possibly 969 at landfall. But again, this is one of those models that will just blow things up. But it's been the more consistent model, so it'll be interesting to see what the 0Z run shows next in about 4 or 5 hours. But we have had some inconsistencies in the modeling on this system. So there's a lot of variability. There's no consistency. So don't freak out, folks, when you see, oh, there's a hurricane hitting southeastern Texas or southwestern Louisiana. We do not know yet, all right? And it is pretty early at this point to make predictions that far out. I shouldn't be even going out to 10 days because of that, but for the sake of it, in today's video, we did. But I'll probably start going less far out in the forecast, more like 7 or 8 days instead. But you get the idea. Tropical wave here definitely needs to be monitored. And when we look at the moisture plot here, or rainfall forecast, we are looking at quite a bit of moisture moving over the greater. So when we take a look at our latest ensemble forecast from the European model, again, the ECMWF ensemble, and right now there is still indications that this could still become a low-grade tropical depression or tropical storm in the next, say, 7 or 8 days or so. Now, when we take a look further out into day 10, there's a pretty big wild outcome here. There's some ensembles that have this turning to the north. And there are some ensembles that make this go back towards the west into, say, the Bay of Campeche, as well as, say, the Yucatan. But there's also a mixed signal of intensities here. Some indicate that this could strengthen over the Gulf, while others are like, not going to show much of intensification. But there are some members here that do bring this into a high-grade tropical storm over Florida. So that is something to really monitor in days to come as this tropical wave finds itself into possibly a favorable environment that allows the system to organize without a lot of wind shear to contend with. So with that being said, there really isn't much to talk about on the tropics except for this area that we're watching off of Africa. Please be safe, folks. Please make sure you are prepared just in case if this does make a run for surprising, sneaky development, something that we did not expect, similar to Beryl. But there's a low chance of a marginal outlook for tropical development on this wave. And so we will keep you updated every day here on the YouTube channel as long as this remains a threat. But anyways, if you did enjoy today's tropical weather outlook and discussion for Friday, July 26, 2024, please consider subscribing, hitting the like button, and sharing this video with their family and friends, and also hit the bell notification icon as I will be making updates daily on this system. But anyways, I'll be back with you more tomorrow on this